I also wanted to look at speech, apparently. Dawei did. I've had lots of people tell me to look at it. Dawei took the stage to talk about his thoughts over the past year and for the future. Okay. I've already talked about everything I wanted to talk to travelers about for the end of the preview program for version 5.0. Right. Seems emotional. Is he tearing up? Is he sniffling? Oh my god, he is. What does he want to say? For the past year, the Genshin development management team has also, personally, I experienced a lot of anxiety and hesitation. We felt we had gone through a tough time. We listened to all kinds of voices. There were some very harsh voices. It was said that there was nothing good about Genshin in the Genshin development management team. Oh my god. Oh my god. Additionally, many people say the Genshin team is so arrogant that they don't listen to everyone's opinions. As JIGE, a colleague who participated in the live broadcast, said, we're like all, we also feel what the players and travelers are feeling. We feel it too, just for us. We heard too many voices. So we need to calm down because we must discern which voices are truly from travelers. So around the beginning of this year, when the Genshin team and I are so lost and confused, we decided to go back to our roots. When we started the Genshin project in 2019, we went through a similar difficult time to now. However, what made us come this far on this difficult path? We came here because of all the travelers present and absent. Thank you so much. Many travelers supported us from the beginning when the project started. We have come this far thanks to listening to the voices of many travelers. At the beginning of this year, when we were wondering how to move forward into the future, we decided after talking with the members of the Genshin team, let's go and listen directly to the voices of travelers around the world. We went to many places, many cities I went to for the first time in my life. Cities in China, as well as cities in other countries and around the world. I talked to many travelers. What I felt when I talked to each traveler was, travelers are so cute. I'm wearing a mask and a hat. One day, travelers are so cute. Look how cute you are. I know. That's what I think when I look at Twitch chat. I think about how cute the chatters are in there. One day I happened to meet a certain traveler in Xiangyang, Hubei province. He was riding the same elevator and said, You are Dawei, right? He said, we're the wrong people. My teammate tried hard to convince him, lying and it's the wrong person. He's not Dawei, but maybe he found out after all. And we talked to him for over 2 hours. Nice try. He said about him and his girlfriend during Corona period, how they had been playing Genshin together. I listened to the story of him and his girlfriend. On that trip, I heard many stories of travelers. For example, a certain traveler started Genshin because a classmate from the same dorm forced him to do it during the coronavirus. What? What the how do you get forced into doing that? Okay, I'll do your homework if you farm hand guards for me. Yeah, I'll let you cheat if you go collect all the jade that I need. In this way, listening to various voices, I received a lot of love for Genshin and many opinions about Genshin from all the travelers. I then asked everyone why they left and why they couldn't come to Tivat for a long time. Yeah. Listen to everyone's voices one by one. The voices of travelers were a great encouragement to us. I'm gonna be honest, most people that I ask, hey, why did you quit? They tell me they quit in the part where it's just before Sumeru and you need to do the chasm quests. Like apparently the chain of events that leads into like from there into the Sumeru is confusing for people, or like it slows down. And I've talked to so many people that fell off then, and I've had to try to convince them, go ahead and finish it and do Sumeru, because once you do Sumeru, you're gonna want to finish. You're gonna do Fontaine, but that seems to be like a major point when we lose people. After returning from a trip, we had many meetings with the Genshin team. Chasm is skippable now. They fixed it. Yeah. So clearly they looked into that and they saw, yeah, they have now fixed that. I loved it. I loved doing the Chasm quest, but when I did it, oh my God, there was a chain of quests that I had to do that was so confusing to figure out which ones I needed to progress. Thankfully, they have streamlined this a lot. They've saved it, yeah. We had many meetings with the Genshin team. And by the way, I actually tried to play Genshin when it came out, and I got to Mondstadt and quit. I was in the game for like a few hours only. It didn't hook me straight away because I thought it was kind of I felt like maybe I wasn't the target audience. I don't know. I felt like it was just literally Breath of the Waifu. Like I believed that stuff that people were saying. Oh no, shit. Did I go too far? I clicked too far. And many opinions about Genshin are all the time. Yeah, okay. This is close to where we were at. There was not enough husbando early on. Yeah, absolutely. I just remember being in that room where you meet Jean And Amber is in the room, and Lisa is in the room. And I was like, and then Lisa's like calling me cutie. That was the point when I felt like, okay. I see what this game is about. And I quit right after that. Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing in this room? You know, cutie gated, literally cutie gated. Yes. Yes, I did. The voices of travelers were a great encouragement to us. After returning from a trip, we had many meetings with the Genshin team. Finally, we achieved one common understanding. Genshin will always be friends with the traveler, and we will walk together. This is the only thing that will not change, but everything else can be changed. That's what they meant when in the live stream they said the one thing that never changes is that we will be your companion. We're the companion of you, the traveler. Man, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. In today's Notland trailer, we saw a lot of changes in us. Game content benefits and various improvements. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. For us, if travelers can have fun playing Genshin, everything can be changed. Because if all the travelers are not having fun, what is the meaning of all that we have done? So after talking with many travelers in the first half of this year, we also received... Listen, there's only one time when I didn't have fun playing Genshin Impact. And it was when I was in Inazuma. And I had these little things that I had to pick up and then set it down somewhere else so that they'd all connect. And I picked up that piece of shit and I tried to put it down, but it was like 1 centimeter off from where it was supposed to be. And I put it and I got it and I tried to sit, but then it's a centimeter off in the other direction. And now I've got to do that 4 more times. That's the only time that I didn't have fun in Genshin Impact. The rest of the time was really good though. It's a skill issue. Yes, I hate those. The rest of it's really good though. The end of today's Notland preview program. I watched all the travelers from the corner of the audience seat. I still couldn't hold back and burst into tears. Oh my god, he's crying. This is my wish starting today. Whether it's Notland or from now on, I want to be with all the travelers, all the places in Teyvat, and the Genshin team. I think there are still many areas where we are lacking. Even now, things still haven't turned out exactly as the traveler wanted. I mean, I still need to play old events, that's true. But me and the Genshin team, after this past year of hesitation and anxiety, all the travelers gave me more than enough courage and confidence. My wish is from today, from the time I leave this stage, I hope that the Genshin team and all the Genshin travelers will be able to take the burden off their past names and look forward. This is really sweet. The Genshin team wants to create the best experience for travelers with all their heart and soul. So today is the last. All travelers here now. Let's all shout together. All travelers see you in that line. Oh my god. I say, all travelers. How about everyone saying, see you in that line? That was so wholesome and so sweet. Man. So like all this QOL that we've seen in this live stream, it didn't just come out of nowhere. You know, it came after a massive come to Jesus moment that the dev team had, feeling like they weren't doing enough and they weren't keeping up enough with what players have been asking for and requesting. And they got a little bit of a kick in the ass. And I'm glad that's resulted in some positive change. But at the same time, I really wish that people would be more considerate about the way that they share their feedback. And I understand how difficult this can be when you're passionate about a game. But like, you cannot forget that there are like devs are real people, that this is their creation and maybe they didn't hit the mark, but they don't deserve to be told that like there's nothing good in Genshin at all. Like that's a horrible thing to say, and that isn't true. That's just straight up not true. I think, yeah, hopefully people can be a little bit more kind whenever they have feedback to share. A lot of people, yeah, he said in this, he was like, we had to listen through this feedback and try to sort out who are really the travelers here. Like, what do the travelers actually want? Because yeah, there's definitely a bunch of people who would just take an opportunity to hop on a bandwagon of hate because it's fun for them. But yeah, man, that was, you can see, like when he said the dev team, they want the game to be as best as it can be with all their heart and soul. I felt that because you can see it. You can see the evidence of that in everything, in every part of it. I've seen it in the like the design of characters that are new and feel like totally fresh and different from the other ones, in the beauty of the world that they keep creating, the new areas they keep creating with the new music for all the different parts and all the different areas. This is wild to me, like how productive they are, like the quality of the storytelling that like shows so much respect to everything that came before it. When, like, for example, this is a silly example maybe, but maybe not. Maybe a silly example is the best example. You look at something like the summer event, which is supposed to be kind of just a lighthearted show, like not very serious thing. It's just like it's like a vacation kind of. And you look at how I felt like the dialogue for that was very well written, because everything that a character says is completely in line with the person that we have known them to be this entire time. Like no character seemed out of character. Everybody, not only did they seem like they were being themselves, but that I got to see new sides of them in a way that shows the respect for the previous source material that they build this new story on. So like, for example, a character like Nilu, I saw a new side of her. You know, she was still herself, she was still Nilu, but I saw the side of her that was like a mother, you know, kind of in some ways, you know, this mothering, taking care of this little creation that she made, and like making sure that, I don't know, there was like a very warm and compassionate side to her that I'd never seen, but it was a delight, and it made sense in that context. And yeah, so the Wanderer had a fantastic character arc that added so much to that event. And now I can't, like, how could that event even gone the way it did without the Wanderer, who, like, because of who he was, the sweet moments mattered more. So they picked the right characters to be where they were at a certain times. And so in terms of storytelling, I thought it was just incredible. You know, there was nuance and subtlety built into it, while still not making it feel like, you know, the story is the end of the world. You know, it doesn't have to feel
like, oh God, everything's ending. This is a really high stakes issue. At no point did it really feel like that. It was nice. And I don't think that it's possible to do that if you don't really care and you don't pay attention. So the attention to detail that the devs have shown continues to impress me. And after we've seen this, yeah, you said Dawei comes off as really likable, always smiling and high energy. I heard China had devs doxxed and harassed last year and review bombed by rivaling companies too. Yeah, I can't imagine. You can tell, like, you can't fake caring. You just can't. It's obvious if you don't care, and it's obvious if you do care. And I really do think that his care does shine through here. And in the final product, the proof is in the pudding, as I like to say, the proof is in the pudding way. And the final product does reflect the amount of care and attention to detail that they put in the game. So this is why I keep playing, why I haven't been able to stop playing since I started. God, it's been a little over a year now. Starting to play this game was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made, and I will never shut up about it. I'm constantly trying to convince my friends to play. And I definitely know that, like, if you spend too much time online, you can get sucked into like a black hole of Genshin sucks, Genshin, blah, 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 and kind of lose sight of what makes it so special. The fact that it's such a high quality game that is for free, that you really do not have to pay any money for to get access to all this incredible content. I've had people like, I tend to personally not pay attention. You know this if you've watched my stream. One thing you might know about me is I don't pay attention, and this is actually amazing because it's prevented me completely. I have just tuned out all the negativity around the game. Like, I've heard about it, but I don't pay attention to it. I mean, it's hard enough for me to pay attention to what I'm doing in the moment. Now, I'm glad that they get constructive feedback and they act on that feedback, but I do think that there's a point when it just becomes a circle jerk of hate, and it's not helping anybody. You know, like, I have had people tell me that they were glad that I tend to have I've always had a pretty optimistic take on the game. But then again, I'm a newer player. You know, I haven't been playing it as much as some other people have. I don't play all day, every day. I don't even play every single day. I play most days, generally. When I'm in the groove of stuff, I usually try, most days of the week, I usually will log into Genshin. But I don't, I don't obsess over it, you know? So I have a pretty healthy, like, I've always felt pretty healthy about it. It's always felt like a relief for me to log in. And yeah. ADHD saves the day. That's true. Joey, thank you so much for the 25-month resub. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Just, you can't pay too much attention to it. It's kind of the same with any fandom. It's not just Genshin. It's just with Genshin, it's such a gigantic fandom that it might be easier to get sucked into the black hole. Like, the black hole has more mass, you know? It's just larger, so it's easier to fall into it. You have to work a little harder to not get sucked in, because it's like that with any game I play. FF14 also has its, there's a segment of the community that only wants to hate on it. And it's like, I have to be careful about how I say things so that I can communicate constructive feedback without feeding into that, right? And that's something that we all, like, we work on all pretty hard. We try not to feed in excessively into that. It's the same with World of Warcraft. I mean, World of Warcraft is kind of famous for that. It's another game I play a lot. World of Warcraft is super famous for having a super, like, people who they just keep beating the drum of what's wrong. And at a certain point, you can beat the drum of, and this is true for life. If you keep beating the drum of what's wrong so loud and so often, you won't be able to hear anything else anymore. Like, you won't be able to pay attention to what you liked in the first place. And you're just not going to have a good time. You won't be able to hear or notice anything that was good outside of you beating that damn drum. Like, just say what you want to say and move on. You know? Damn. Yeah. Wow. Shadowlands break was the most healthy thing ever. But the only thing is, I'm really glad for the positive changes that have come out of people sharing their feedback. That is a positive thing. And as long as people have shared that feedback in like constructive and civil ways, they shouldn't ever feel bad for sharing that feedback, because at the end of the day, they are a business, and it's a responsibility of the business to listen to the feedback of the client. So, you know, I hope that nobody is like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have ever said. No, you should point out when you have an issue so they can work on it, but just try to do it in a civil way. I think this argument falls apart, and Honkai Star Rail is even bigger than Genshin today, and has almost no negativity. A game can be huge and have no negativity if the game is actually good. What? You're telling me that there's nobody who's negative about Honkai Star Rail? Okay, well, you should check the Honkai Husbandos subreddit. Because let me tell you something. Maybe they're not negative in your little echo chamber that you might be in, maybe unintentionally or intentionally. But I happen to be in a Husbandos subreddit where people literally every single day are like saying that, you know, the devs don't care. I'm never going to play this game anymore. This game is a piece of shit. Look how they push us aside. Look how they treat us. They don't care about us. If I hate this game, I've heard it all. Okay, so it just depends on where you look and what you care about. I mean, it's just, you don't have to look at it. You don't have to look at it. I don't know. Anyways, here's the thing too, though. I can be aware of those things, but not fall into the black hole of despair about it. Yeah, I kind of have to, as a content creator, have to learn that skill. HSR is great. I've had an amazing time in Penacony, but I'm not gonna get off on a tangent about that right now. There's no need.